Welcome to week 5, phase changes, boiling. Our learning target for today, we will be able to identify how substances move from the liquid to a gaseous state in the specific presence of a specific heat and pressure. So in the picture, we want to know, why is there steam rising above this water? It's because the water is boiling hot, believe it or not. The bubbles in the water show that it's boiling. If you look right there by the shoreline, you can see bubbles rising up. The water in the spring is hot enough to boil because it comes from an underground source near hot, molten rock. Steam actually consists of tiny droplets of liquid water. What you can't see in the picture is the water vapor that is also present in the air above the cloud of vapor from the tea kettle. Water vapor is water in a gaseous state. It constantly rises up from the surface of boiling hot water. Why is that? Well, at high temperatures, particles of a liquid gain enough energy to completely overcome the force of attraction between them, so they can change into a gas. The gas forms bubbles that rise to the surface of the liquid because gas is less dense than liquid. The bubbling up of the liquid is called boiling. When the bubbles reach the surface, the gas escapes into the air. The entire process in which a liquid boils and changes into a gas that escapes into the air is called vaporization. So I have a question for you. Why does steam form over the hot spring pictured above? Why does steam form over the hot spring pictured above? Take a second and think about that. Steam forms when some of the water vapor from the boiling water cools in the air and condenses to form droplets of liquid water. So there are two types of vaporization: evaporation and boiling. Boiling is easily confused with evaporation, but the two processes are not the same. Evaporation also changes a liquid to a gas, but it doesn't involve boiling. Instead, evaporation occurs when particles at the surface of the liquid gain enough energy to escape into the air. This happens without the liquid becoming hot enough to boil. The temperature at which a substance boils and changes to a gas is called its boiling point. Boiling point is a physical property of matter. The boiling point of pure water is 100 degrees Celsius. Other substances may have higher or lower boiling points. Several examples are listed on this table. Pure water is included on the table for comparison's sake. So the question posed is, assume that you want to get salt water or sodium chloride out of the salt water. You want to get the salt out of the salt water. Based on the information in the table, how could you do it? Take a moment and look over the table. Then decide what process you would have to go through to separate the water from the salt. You could heat the salt water to 101 degrees Celsius. The water would boil and vaporize, but the salt would not. Instead, the salt would be left behind as solid particles. Would it boil at 100 degrees Celsius? No, because we're starting with salt water, water with salt in it, and its boiling point is actually at 101 degrees Celsius. Let's look at another one. Oxygen is a gas at room temperature. About 20 degrees Celsius. What does that tell you about its boiling point? Oxygen is not listed on the table, but several other gases are. The boiling point of oxygen must be lower than 20 degrees Celsius. Otherwise, it would be a liquid at room temperature. So in summary, vaporization is the process in which a liquid boils and changes to a gas. Vaporization is easily confused with evaporation, but evaporation doesn't involve boiling. The temperature at which a liquid boils and starts to change into a gas is called its boiling point. The boiling point of pure water is 100 degrees Celsius. Let's take a moment and look back at our learning target. Are you able to identify how substances move from a liquid to a gaseous state? If so, congratulations. If it's still a little bit confusing, feel free to go back and review the video. There is also reading and several activities and questions following this video. Please take time to do each one so that you can meet our learning target. Have a wonderful day, and remember to stay healthy and stay happy.